Well, hello, good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is in the time zone that you're in. Just thought I'd come live here on Sunday afternoon, February 2nd, 2024. Hmm. A full month has gone by already, believe it or not. And this being a leap year because there's 29 days in this month of February this year. Normally there isn't. So, that may throw some people off. But it's neither this, neither nor that. I'm just here. Whoever shows up in chat shows up in chat. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Um, it's there. I'll be paying attention. I know somebody would have been here today, but they're preparing to take a trip overseas, and right now they're scrambling to try to get a babysitter. Not your traditional babysitter by any means, but because she owns quite a lot of exotic animals and creatures, and she needs somebody who can take care of them all. So I think she's trying to coax in somebody. And if you don't know who I'm talking about by now, I'm talking about, of course, one of my great friends that I've known from high school, that we've probably the only two that have stayed together the longest as friendships. I would have with a couple other people, but somehow down the road, as things happened, got drifted apart. That I used to be really good friends with. But this one in particular, she's known simply as QB. Some of you may know her by the other name that she uses on Facebook, which isn't her real name. She doesn't use it anywhere. Hey, Wolf. Hey, Hound. So it's just, or it's her full name, as most you may know her as she pops in as Queen Biatch. But anyways, I just kind of, doing this little bit here. And I've been working on some Dark Side of Nursery Rhymes. I did about 3 of them already today. So they're lined up for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday right now to drop about 6 p.m. Eastern Time. They're not premiering or anything like that. I'm just doing them. And I thought, now what the heck? Pop up here, take a bit of a break, come up, say, a few things that's going on, this and that, and some other chit chat and see, for those who have or those who haven't, on my community tab, I had left the question as what nursery rhyme that I haven't done yet do you want to see or hear about? So, decided to do that. There's some things coming up for this year that I want to try to do, but I have other things right now that I gotta deal with for the next couple of months. It's part of also why QB did what she did on Facebook for me. I'm gonna go over it because I was like so damn mad and pissed off at them for it. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe depending what happens, maybe I have to go into the place. But anyways, long story short, hey John. Um, Friday I had to go to courthouse because I was served with a summons to appear for jury selection. So I had to show up, had to be there no matter what. 8:30 to 5 is the time frame. Took me just over an hour to get up there. I guess I'd take public transit. It's not fun by any means. Where I am, and I'm sure probably might be the same for others wherever they are, that you don't get paid. Okay. Your workplace may pay you. They may pay you only for actual jury duty, depending on how many days it is. Jury selection, they may not. But sometimes jury selection can last more than one day. They did ours on a Friday for whatever reason. I don't know why. I was told about it basically beginning of January when I got the summons in the mail. They sent it out in December before Christmas. So whatever delay over the holidays that it was. So I went to do that. I sat there for 2 hours. Then they finally came in, somebody came in and said, oh no, it's canceled. They canceled it. Somebody would have tried to phone you or send you. I didn't get either. But, but I had 2 days which my cell phone was completely down. So nobody could call me. Nobody could text me. I couldn't even make a call out or text anybody. And if I did, I had to do that RCS thing. But then because the service provider screwed around with my phone, I couldn't even send that out properly. So I had to wait. Got a hold of them another way, but I had to wait. At least I had my internet still, so I could send them an email saying, hey, look, payment's been full. I shouldn't owe anything. These are the last 2 days and how much was paid. Why is my phone not working? So that I got all sorted out. But needless to say, I ended up, by the time I came home, I didn't feel like stopping off and picking up food for lunchtime. So instead, I ordered through, I think it was Uber Eats, some lunch. And at the same time, I'm going, oh, I won't order the proper meal from McDonald's, but I'll order 3 McRib sandwiches because they're back. They've been away for like 10 years here. It's been longer than that since I had one because the last time they had it, I never got to it and I missed out and I went, oh, damn, I'll just have to wait until whenever they bring it back. And they finally just brought it back for who knows how long. So needless to say, I bought and ordered 3 of them. Well, with that through Uber Eats at the time, they had the promotion if you spent $20 or more, you got a free McDouble burger as well. So I went, okay, fine, I'll take it. I'll just save it for later. So I was going to review the McRib on what it looked like, everything, this and that. And then on a second one, I was going to add hot sauce to it. The third one I was just going to keep for later for my own enjoyment. I wasn't going to worry about it. Well, the order came, handed me, my bag with my food. I'm looking at it. I also had ordered a Coke Zero with it, and that was it. So it felt heavy enough, the right way. Driver took off, got in the car, was gone. I didn't even notice him leave. I opened the bag, and there's no McRibs. There is 2 bags and 2 drinks inside the main big bag. There were 4 sausage McMuffins. There was a large fries and I think a hamburger. It was hamburger or cheeseburger. There was a medium root beer, and then there was a iced coffee, whatever flavor, whatever. I don't drink that. If I'm going to have iced coffee, the only 2 ways of anything ice like that, one is because I let my own coffee that I made get cold, so I'll drink that no matter what. I won't waste it. Sometimes I'll reheat it in the microwave and then drink it. Or I'm having from Tim Hortons the iced cappuccino. And for those of you who don't know, it's cappuccino coffee with some cream along with crushed ice, kind of like a slushie in a way, but more frozen. So I poured that out because I wasn't going to drink it. I had the other stuff. I waited half an hour before I touched anything, just in case the driver came back, found out. But then when I looked at the receipt, which McDonald's does tape to the bags to tell you that's your order, everything was right. The only part was what was inside was wrong. So they screwed up. They put the wrong receipt tag on the wrong bag. So somebody else got my 3 McRibs and the McDouble and my Coke Zero. Sorry. It's just probably the cold damp air that's here in the basement where I am. Or the dungeon, I should say. So that's why QB posted up what she did, say, oh, buy me a McRib, and posted my PayPal link, which shows, of course, my full proper name. Not that I care. that people know. It's neither here nor there. It's not like, oh, I'm trying to be secretive. Majority of people know me as Dev or Devilish, and they've always called me that. Even, some people that when I meet them in real life, they know my real name, but they still call me that. QB calls me Dev all the time. She doesn't call me by my real name. I don't always call her by her real name either. Usually I just say QB. Even the other two ladies that sometimes pop around once in a while, the lady Davida, I don't call her by her real name. And the other one, Pandora's Box. Usually I just call her Pandy because that's what QB calls her as a nickname, Pandy. We don't always say her real name. But I've known her through Make-A-Wish Foundation, so that's how I know Pandora. And I didn't know Pandora knew QB. So it was a weird circle when I found out. It's like, what the hell, you two know each other? It's whatever they went to that they got into talking this and that, blah, blah, blah. And they never mentioned about me or anything, but, anyways. So there's that gist of things. And, I kind of give a little bit of back history to part of this because I been going through a little bit of a weird hardship this last, almost a year, I guess. And then hit more to a form of winter blues / depression, I'll say. Probably more depression, I guess, or it could be just normal winter blues I've had. I still kind of have it, but then I'm still kind of in this mental down feeling. It'll go away after February 15th. Just coming out of Christmas into January 21st to February 15th it's just mental drain on me. Whether I want it to be or not, I have good times and I have some like how this past one's been and still is. Feeling really low and down. Feeling like, as I posted, maybe I should just screw it, walk away, and just not give a shit anymore. Not to say, gonna hurt myself or anything like that. No. Just walk away, go away, and just ignore everybody and go out into the middle of the woods and just live without anybody knowing that I'm there. And then just coming out whenever I need something and maybe just live off the land, especially during the summer. It's easier. And, a little bit in the spring, a little bit in the fall. The winter would be the hardest, but I could make do with it. I know how. I have the knowledge. I have the training, so it's not hard. It just depends whereabouts you are. That's all. That makes things a little bit different. And that's part of, if you're going to do something like that, knowing where, your supplies that you need that come from nature. So, let's go back to January. I had a reasonably good job at a pharmaceutical place. Hey, Mia. I left that job because it became a little too stressful. I kind of felt like the other two coworkers were just dumping all the workload on me when I worked afternoon shifts. I could have said something super, but then I don't know whether or not I would have been looked upon the same way by these two individuals. So I just kind of went, let me give it a little bit more go, say things to them, see if anything changes. Nothing really did. So, I kind of just went on with work. And then I finally said, no, that's enough. I'm not doing this anymore. The shift work wasn't too bad. I didn't like it because I was traveling a fair distance by public transit. And that snowstorm last January, the really heavy wet one that we got here, where we got like basically what was it? In 4 hours, we got pretty much between 2 to 3 feet worth of snow. It was wet and heavy. At that time was working my afternoon shift, basically was from about 1 p.m. to, what was it, supposed to be 10:30. And as the night got on, of course, it got whiter and whiter outside. It was just totally covered in white. That's the only time I love the snow a lot, is when it's falling, it's fresh, it's covering everything, it makes everything look beautiful and white, stuck on the trees, houses, whatever, blah blah blah. It's great. And the other time I like it is because I want to go out and ride my snowmobile in it. So that's the only two, main things why I like the snow the most. Other than that, the cold, I don't really care about it anymore. Maybe because I'm getting older. Maybe that's the way most people are when they live in a cold climate like this here in Canada, that, after a while, you no longer want to be in the cold. You want to get out of it. But needless to say, get back to it. That was a bad snowstorm. I left early at 9 p.m. I didn't get home until about midnight, or just a little after midnight. That's 3 hours. I waited for just over an hour to almost an hour and a half to get on a first bus. I got on two buses, but the first bus, and it was going in the opposite direction that I wanted to go in, but it was taking me to where there's a small bus station. I got there, and looking at it, it's like, oh, I could catch this bus or this bus from here and go home. Maybe I'll have to take 3 buses to get home. No problem. I don't care. But the one bus that I was waiting for, that I didn't get to catch right away, that I waited over an hour for, was there stuck in the snow a little bit. Eventually, another driver told him how to get out, but I got on the bus and I said, you know what, I'm just going to take this bus home. Where it stops, yes, it's a 12-minute walk, but it ends up being a 25, 30-minute walk because of the snow, because it's above your ankles. Some areas, was more than a foot deep, 2 feet to your knees, depending on how tall you are. So it made it difficult to walk. And of course, I didn't walk where the sidewalks are supposed to be. I was walking along the road, so that way it was easier to go and get home. Eventually, I left that job. It was several weeks before I got myself a job on my own, working for Canadian Tire. I lasted there, I don't know, 6 months, I think. Basically, I left that one because the supervisor wouldn't see anything other than her own way. So basically, if you had a new idea or to do something that was different, whatever, she'd tell you, oh no, we've already tried that. We've tried everything. Nothing works. Just do it the way I tell you. So basically, do it my way. So that kind of got annoying. She would tell me certain things, and I would butt heads with her because the way she would tell me. And it's like, okay, what do you want me to do? You want me to do this? You want me to do that? I can't do both at the same time. I will start one and finish. When I finish that, I'll do the other one. But if there's one that you want in particular done first, tell me right now. And she just kind of stared at me. It's like, well, hello. It's like, I understand you want me to do both things, but can't do them both at the same time. And when you told me to stop one and start the second one. Then you asked me, why didn't I finish the first one? I said, you told me to stop and do this one. So, that went on for a while. And then I finally said, no. I said, this is enough. I said, I feel like I'm being a slave that's got handcuffs on, working a job and being micromanaged completely and not being able to do anything that I need to do. And even though we have customers that come into the store to buy products, they want to know where things are. Basically, you're just supposed to tell them what aisle it's in, and that's it. That's all she wanted you to do. You weren't allowed to do anything else for the customer. And I'm sitting there and going, if this is the way every employee is to be, other than the few people who are supposed to be on the floor for the departments, that's bad customer service. That means you're losing business. But when people are willing to help a customer and go out of their way, that customer will come back no matter what. Even though they might be coming back to look for that employee that helped them, but they're coming back. That's how you build your business. It doesn't matter whether you're a franchise or whatever. But no. So that kind of when I left that, it was a month or so before I got another job on my own, which I only lasted there for 2 months because they kept comparing me to a man who retired that was there for 30 years and say why I can't do it like him. They kept saying, oh, he could do this, do this, do this, and this. And then look at me like saying, well, why can't you now? It's like, hello. There were certain areas that I didn't get to look at that I wanted training in. I kept asking them. They wouldn't do it. They kept saying, oh, yeah, Thursday, I'll have time. Come Thursday, come. All of a sudden they get busy or they take off from the office and they're not around. So I was left on my own to do certain things. They let go of the other guy that was full time because they didn't see that he was good enough. He was young. He was learning. They let him go, and then they wanted me to do everything on my own. Basically, I was to do a 4-person's job at that place on my own without any extra help other than what I already knew with my own experiences. And that's all I could do. And when I went to turn around to try to do something else, another task, I had to do other tasks because orders were piling up or they were getting, ready. So I had to do big shipments and get those ready before I actually got the orders so that way I could ship them out on time. Otherwise, it would take too long. So, I left that. That brought me in around November-ish of last year. So from November to the middle of December, I had no job. Now I'm getting behind on bill payments, rent, and everything else. I am in a job. I went through an employment agency. The employment agency is in Canada and in the US, and I think in a few other countries as well. They are known as Express. They've helped me out very, very good. Satisfied with them. Yes, the job that I got isn't a full 40-hour full-time job at the moment, but will be, I hope. I'm going to work this month of February, and then at the end of February, I'm going to say to the agent that I have at the agency to talk to the manager, see if I can get more hours, that I can come in earlier instead of coming in for 12 o'clock every day at lunchtime. And then getting maybe 7.5 hours total, and they take off half an hour for lunch. So if I work 7 hours, I get 6.5. If I work 7.5 hours, I get 7 hours. 5 days, 35 hours a week, 5 hours short of a full 40. Now, I do believe, depending on the loophole, that's between 30 and 32 hours minimum is what you're supposed to get to be full-time. That's not supposed to be anything less than that. Unless those rules have changed over the last few years that I don't know about, I would have to investigate that. But the manager is really good there. He's nice and friendly. I know he can be rough when he needs to be. I do order picking, and I have to pick up my pace a little bit on the orders, do a little bit extra as to what they require per day, so that way the numbers up. But then the person who's pushing these numbers, he also is being shown by my manager, that there are times where we do other things besides just order picking, that we're not doing order picking for our full shift time, and that why our numbers are low is because of this. Because he would come out and say, oh, well, why isn't Dev's numbers over 50 for the day? Well, he spent 3 hours doing this. Therefore, his numbers are down. Oh, okay. So now we're trying to keep all track of all this stuff, so that way when he comes, we can present it to him, say, look, this is how each day went, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's why his numbers are down. So that way it's something legitimate. So I've been kind of dealing with that. Then also the fact that come May 1st, I have to move no matter what. So I've been looking for places, looking at the price for renting. A lot of places that are reasonable. Oh, you're sharing with somebody else, and I don't want to do that. And part of the reason for that is I have a teenage daughter, young teenage daughter. She's going to be 14 or 15 this year. I can't even remember. I got to re-look back her date of birth. Then I'll know. But anyways, but she would come, Christmas time for a week, and in the summer, 1 or 2 weeks, occasionally March break. But it's like I would need for her to feel comfortable, and if I'm with some weird stranger that that I don't feel comfortable with, I'm not going to have her be around to be comfortable with them either. And not the privacy, and everything else from my daughter. And then that means then she would get my room and I would have to sleep out in the living room. And with some of these people, I don't think that would be very feasible. Plus, I don't like, sharing the kitchen. I don't like having, the fact that, oh, I'm going to buy food for myself and they start eating it and then it's not replaced. Or discrepancies of certain things, loudness and this and that. And it's like, I don't want to be, a hermit in my bedroom and not be able to use the rest of the place because, there's this other person, we're not really getting along. So then you have two choices, either put up with the bullshit or move again. I don't want to do that. I want to be privately on my own with a kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom, small living area, which is fine, kind of like what I have now, and it'd be perfect. But some of those they want too much money for, which was beyond my budget. So these are things that I'm, kind of dealing with, stress and a few other things in around it. But as I said a little while ago, I did do 3 new Dark Side of nursery rhymes. 2 which I did, 1 which somebody suggested, and if you haven't, on the community tab here, you guys can go and read it and leave a suggestion for a nursery rhyme that you want me to look into, and I'll try to do whatever history that's behind it. Hopefully there's a dark side, because that's preferable, because that's what we're doing. The dark side or dark history to nursery rhymes. I'll keep going through as many as I can. Hit all the main ones. There's been a couple odd ones that people never heard of. For instance, lemons and oranges. It's United Kingdom or England's nursery rhyme. I'd never heard it before. Never in my life. So when I did it, it was like, wow, okay. Taking it back to where it did, what was it, 16th, 18th century, England, medieval times type idea. I forget the main era. But for people who were convicted of a crime, that they were walked through the streets from where they were held and tortured, passing all these different churches, till they finally got to the guillotine to have their heads cut off. And this nursery rhyme tells you about all the different places of the churches, taking them through the streets of England to their final, the executioner, who's going to chop off their head either with a guillotine or an axe. But also talk about how some of the towns and some of the things saying how they were poor, unwealthy. Some of the other things about the certain churches, some of them are great cathedrals today. Some, more smaller, a pub that was in it. You look at some of the other ones that I've done so far in the past, Mary Mary, quite contrary. There's several meanings to behind it and which one it truly is, because the information, the research that I've done shows what it is. Now, some people may be listening to this and go, oh, and then they might have looked at, oh, well, I thought he would have done more. The way I do these dark side or dark history of nursery rhymes is to give you the information behind it, what the nursery rhyme breaks down into, what were the traditions, why did it come about, I'm not diving in really too deep because I don't want to bore people. I don't want people to, lose track. I want people to be able to focus in, watch it from beginning to end. I may change them up, and I already did. I did a few little changes, but you guys will see that next week. Some people think Sunday is the beginning of the week. That's all up to you. That doesn't matter. We can agree to disagree on that. But going through these and some of the ones I did, and I did one. There wasn't much to it, but I still did it. So that's 1 out of 3 that was suggested already to me. There's 2 others that I'm going to do. So hopefully, I don't know if I'll finish them tonight or if I'll do one tomorrow morning and then another one Tuesday morning, or I'll do one Tuesday morning, one Wednesday morning, or do them when I come home after work. Because by the time I get home from work, I'm home about 9 p.m.-ish Eastern time, ET. Right? And then I stay up for about an hour and then I go to bed, roughly. I don't stay up that long. If I've eaten, I stay up a little bit longer because I don't have to get up that early in the morning, but I get up early enough so that way I have a couple hours before I need to leave to catch the bus that I can eat. And if I need to make my lunch / dinner, because it's late afternoon, it's like 3:15, 3:30ish that I get to go for my lunch break. So I eat, and then I don't get to eat again until I get home at 9. So that's kind of my day. Weekends off. Don't ever have to work a weekend. And if it is, it would only be for inventory. But from what I've seen so far, it seems like maybe they use somebody else to do inventory. I don't know when they do inventory because I haven't seen it. Hey, Chuck. How you doing, man? I'm sure you're still wiped out from being in the hospital. So that's kind of a gist of what's going on right now. So I'll be doing some more of the nursery rhyme dark sides. I may be picking some that maybe nobody suggested yet and go through it. Oh, you're back in. Oh, geez. Okay. I saw your last little update there saying that you were home. Man, what a complication, Chuck, or something else happened now. I haven't gotten to check to see anything recently, and part of what I do on Sundays as well. I try to catch up on videos and shorts and this and that of people here on YouTube. I don't use much social media. The only social media I use is Facebook and YouTube. I used to have Instagram. I used to have what was the other one? I can't even remember now. But I never really used them a lot. It was more because I was following people, and then I kind of just got bored of it. Oh wow, okay. Yep, that's what I don't get now with things with the hospitals today. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. I've noticed that they're sending people home a lot earlier than they used to, and they try to push you to get up and moving or whatever to get you out. It's almost like they're trying to do turnaround like a restaurant. Like when you go to a fancier restaurant, you sit down. It's like, oh well, we give you 45 minutes to an hour, to sit here in the spot, and then once you've finished your meal, if you're not having dessert or you're not having a couple extra drinks in front of you, they try to rush you out sometimes, right? If they don't just completely forget about you, your server. That's what I feel how hospitals are acting lately. It's kind of like a turnover to make that buck. You know what I mean? But it sucks, man. That sucks. But hopefully, they'll be a little bit smarter this time, and you might have to be a little bit stubborn with them before you leave this time. I'm sure, you want to get home quick, but, I'll tell you a little story. Some people know about this, some people don't. Now, the main part, well, not a story, it's true. Okay, it's real life thing that happened for me. Back in, what was it? 1999, 98. My son was about 2.5 years old. His abdomen, so his intestines below his stomach, got hard as a rock. So took him into the doctor's. Doctor said, no, take him to Toronto Sick Children's Hospital. Sick Kids is what it's mostly short known as. We went, we got in there late, sitting around in emergency room, not in the waiting room, but we were actually in the room waiting for the doctors to come through this and that. Finally, they did. They finally sent us off, told us that, we're going to have to do some x-rays and maybe an a CAT scan. So CAT scan got done first. He had to drink the chalk barium stuff to show whatever highlighted in his intestines. But also at the same time, that stuff was also going to be used for the x-rays. So that way they can see things. They thought that the blockage was holding stool inside him, poop, because his intestine rolled back over itself. So they decided that in the x-ray room, when they did that they were going to use a inflatable balloon, of course, shove it up his butt, put it inside close to where this is, and inflate it so that way the intestine would roll back out stretched. Ah, okay. I hear you, Chuck. I hear you. So, needless to say, we were there. They sent us up to one of the floors later on. He was there. He was not moving around much, didn't have much energy. Then all of a sudden, they gave him Senecot to try to help him pass his stool, his poop. He did that and seemed to pick up his energy and everything seemed good. Whatever, they were happy. They sent us home. 3 days later, he was back into the same, complaining of pain. He wasn't wanting to do anything. He just wanted to lay there, lethargic, sleepy, no energy. So we took him back. He started to get better again after a couple of days. And they were about to release him to go home, but he wasn't energetic. He was just wanting to sleep in my lap. He didn't want to do anything. So I said to the nurse, no. I said, we're not going home. I said, go get the doctor, bring the doctor. And I said, something's wrong. He's not himself. She kind of looked at me. She goes, what do you mean? I go, he likes to jump around. He likes to play. He likes to be active. I said, he's not even doing that this time. I said, he's just laying here being very, very quiet. If I ask him if he wants to watch something, he doesn't say anything. I said, that's not him. He usually tells me this is what he wants to watch, which at that time was the Men in Black, I think 1 or 2. He loved that movie. He didn't want to watch it. She goes, well, he does look a little pale. She goes, okay, I see how he's just laying there, whatever. She tried talking to him, but he just kind of looked at her. She goes, all right, let me talk to the doctor. That doctor came in, said, no, he doesn't look right. Because I was stubborn enough in saying, no, we're not going home that time, that's the only reason why we stayed. Even though everything else, all their results, everything said, oh, he's good, he's okay, he can go home. Because he wasn't up and jumping around, we didn't go home. Needless to say, that ended up turning out to be the fact that he got cancer, neuroblastoma stage 4 or 5. Okay, it's a children's cancer. And he fought that for 4 years, and then just after his 7th birthday, which was February 15th, he passed away. So his birthday, January 21st, which I kind of mentioned earlier in this live stream. So all that, so when people, say, and if you're not feeling right, it's like, no, be stubborn, push them a little bit more, get them to do a few extra tests before you go. Just because the main part seems good, maybe there's something else going on. And you want to be sure, because you don't want to have to keep running back and forth all the time, just to find out later, oh, well, we could have done something back then. It's all right. And thank you, Chuck. This year I'm kind of dealing with it a little bit more, even though it's been well over 20 years, I guess. Yeah, since he passed. Believe it or not. Well, actually, a little less. Sorry, my mistake. He'd be like 27 today if he was alive. Okay. But needless to say, yeah, you got to be careful what you're doing, especially with hospitals. They like to push everybody out so quickly before, even realizing sometimes them making mistakes here and there for certain things. I've heard all the stories. But as I always say to some people when they go in for something, hey, be stubborn before you leave. Make sure they check everything before letting you go, so you don't have to run back again within a week or hours or whatever. That's from my experience. And I've seen it with some other people too, where they went in with something simple and, it turned into something else later on because they weren't paying attention to it then. And yet, though, the symptoms, continue to last for so long before they finally really looked deeper. But as long as you're feeling somewhat better, then it's all good. The rest, to stand, walk, that'll come within time. It's just, being that stubborn motivated to get yourself going and, following what you can do based on things. As I said, I'll come back to this. There are some other things that I want to do this year, and I don't know when I'm going to get to them. I want to go back to the St. John's Lithuanian Cemetery that I was at, that I do have a video up on my wall for this channel. You can look that up. I think it's over an hour long. Not very much cutting into it. Editing. There's a couple of cut spots, but that's because of recording and being respectful of some of the people that were coming in. I did lose audio and part of towards the end of it. I don't know why. Maybe it was because I didn't have my my earbuds that I had not plugged in properly. Old, jack connection. Maybe not pressed all the way into my phone when I was doing the recordings towards the end. And when I was doing it, there were fresher grave sites that were there where I was walking around. There are a couple more cemeteries that I want to visit that are in this area where I live right now. So I don't know when I do move how far away I'll be from them, but I'll try to get to them. I do want to go to the one, which is the big one with a lot of history and paranormal as well, is a cemetery where my son is buried, but he's in the newer side. It's the older side with the more history that I want to get into. There's a couple of mayors, a couple of presidents, a couple of big time names from NHL hockey. There's also big Timothy Eaton from the Eaton Center Company, or the Eatons, I should say. There's a lot of history in there, some musicians and a few other things. There's some mausoleums that are there that are creepy looking. I believe the one is still there, which is one which I kind of mentioned how I was going to go, that it's kind of, I don't know if they built it up like that or if it actually is kind of a little hillside. mausoleum tomb that they have stuck in there. That one and the one around by Eaton. There's another one by Eaton. There's a lot of paranormal stuff that goes on, and I've seen videos, I've watched, I've done some research, and I've heard different things. Some of the staff have said certain things that they hear that they've done. There's been different ghost tours. There's been different mediums that have gone through there, and people have picked up certain things and had certain interactions. I'm not sure whether this one in particular you can actually be at night, because most of the ones in the city of Toronto here, you can't. After a certain hour, they say that's it. The cemetery's closed. Got to be out. If you're in it, and the people who run the cemetery are not there with you, cops automatically will arrest you for trespassing and whatever else. So trespassing, mischief, and then whatever else they want to throw at you based on what they observe or what they've heard because of complaints. Some people just call the cops regardless because you're roaming around in a cemetery in around the city. I wish they were a little bit more lenient in a certain way, but then I also understand it because there's been a lot of problems, especially in the last few years. And a lot of that is I could go on a tangent, but I'm not going to with that. I'll leave it as that. What else is going on? I stopped my subscription with Netflix. I'm no longer going to go back to it. Anything that comes out brand new on Netflix that I like, I found another website in which I can watch the stuff on, so I don't have to worry about that. But I switched over to Paramount Plus. I was going to go to Crave TV, but there wasn't a lot for Crave TV for what I wanted to watch. There's only maybe 3 TV series episode things that I wanted to watch, but that's it. Then after I'd done those, I said, then what am I going to watch? Because the TV channels that they have all listed, I don't watch any of that stuff. So it was kind of like, I'm not paying the amount of money that they want per month just to watch those 3, and that's it. I could probably find them on the one website that I got. And just go from there. Actually, there's 2 websites I can watch movies and TV show series and seasons from for free. Not mentioned because I've been finding that with a few other things like MMA and so-called, well, I don't really call it that, but wrestling and all martial arts. I don't think they have all martial arts there. I know that you can watch some MMA, and I don't know if it's Bulldog. Where is it here? I have to look here. I'm just looking through and still talking to. I'm just not seeing chat at the moment. There is one. Hopefully this website's still working. They haven't been taken down. No, they've been taken down. Dang it. You can try this site too. You can just type it in Google or whatever search engine you have and just type in watch wrestling. When you find the very first item that's on there, just click on it. It'll be watch wrestling dot whatever, whether if it's INIOONCA.com, whatever. But watch wrestling, WATCH wrestling. As 2 words or all as 1 word. In there, they will have everything for, if you like wrestling, they have all the wrestling shows there. They're streams. Some of them are live, some of them are pre-recorded, right? But there is a one there for UFC MMA that does all the UFC matches every weekend and all that, as well as showing you live, or you can watch pre-recorded if you want. You don't have to watch live because some people have problems with live streams that they buffer too much. But part of that has to do with the person who's uploading the stream, sending it through all the hubs and everything to get to you, and how quickly your hub is able to deal with, the complexity of what the bandwidth is for the stream, and then your own computer and your own modem as well. Um, I don't know. Well, they probably do, but I just don't know how good the streams are, the stream links. Let me see here. What is it? How do we spell it? Levidia. Levidia. Okay. That's a free TV show and movie platform website. You can download the stuff if you can, or you can just watch it straight. Sometimes it buffers a little bit in the beginning, but sometimes if you wait for a few seconds and just let it preload up, you can catch things and just watch it straight through without any buffering. But as I said, it all depends on your download speed for your modem to whatever laptop or desktop that you're using, or device for that matter, and then you can watch from there. I know they do have a lot of older stuff. You would have to type it in, what you're looking for, and search it, and comes up. They have TV seasons and series of different things, new and old. They have new movies that pop up every now and then. But they have a lot of older stuff, and I believe they go back to as far as 1954, I want to say, for years to look at. Now, some of that stuff might not work as good. Some of it does. But you can check out Levidia and see how that works for you, Chuck. I'll give you that one. I'll say that one easily because a lot of people usually know that one. But the other one that I use, I'm not saying because when too many people get on the stream or get into it, it slows down, and then they want to start charging because they've got more, kind of subscriber or members type thing. So then that happened to one website that I did have before a long time ago, and they started charging everybody. They wanted a yearly membership fee, which was like $70 or something. I don't know. And I'm going, no, I'm not paying $70 for the whole year for this thing, and it not working 100%. Some of the movies that I've saw on the video, some of them are ripped from a DVD, right? So it's all up to you. Now, I don't know who else has the older ones. Free TV streaming service that has different seasons and older episodes. I don't know about too much newer or not. Some people know it, some people don't. Pluto TV, that's a free one. There's a whole bunch of free ones, just whether or not they have commercials and such, and how they do them. Pluto TV, they will do commercials throughout the movies and for the TV shows that are there. I've been watching a lot of older Star Trek Next Generation there. I've also been watching some old All in the Family with good old Archie Bunker, The Love Boat. I've been watching from the Food Network, Carnival Eats. They have a music channel stream where I've been watching some old concerts from different people, which are really good. Who was the one that I was watching? Oh, was Yes, and the group Yes, for the time period they did. I think they did in 2000 something. It's like seeing everything that they collaborated, pulled together, that they did for that, plus hits that we know, um, it was like fabulous. It's like an hour and a half long. Sometimes they do a little bit of a documentary thing, like how they started and go forward, and then you get to hear the different songs as they were doing them in the studios, and then you hear the full song properly on stage somewhere, whatever. They kind of do it a little bit different. Um, I forget who that streamline is. They do concert series in the States, and I forget where it is offhand. But there's all sorts of things. If you like Top Gear, the new version I don't like, but they also have the old ones with the three English guys, and how they go through their tomfoolery crap and shit. But they got kicked off BBC because of some of the things they did and things they said, which they didn't like. So then they went with a new group, and that's where they took what's his name there from the TV show Friends, and they put him in there with two other guys, and they started the new US Top Gear, but they had it in the UK. Then they brought it over into the US, and I think they call it US Top Gear or something. I don't know what the newest version is, but it's all done in the States. It's not the same to me. It's just completely different. Watching the old Star Trek shows, right? Seeing the different seasons and seeing from the very first episode of Star Trek, the very beginning, and how they went through and how things changed. It's quite interesting. Yeah, he was Joey in the show, but I mean his real name. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. His face is right there in front of me right now. I just can't remember it. I'm not even going to bother trying to search it up here on the internet, because knowing my luck, something will probably freeze. Probably this restream. But that's okay. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Crime. I was watching some of the CSI old shows. No, 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 no. Matt LeBlanc. That's his name. He played Joey Tribbiani. There, I was able to do it. Matt LeBlanc. No, not Avery Brooks. I'm talking about the other Friends. Matt LeBlanc was it. Hey, Drew. Um, so they have all these different things there on Pluto TV. It's a great thing. They have an old history thing too. They do a lot of documentaries, a lot of crime. They do have their series of movies that go through different certain channels. There's all sorts of, and it's all free, so you guys can check it out. Trying to also, right now I'm using a free program. I'm trying to do some AI special video editing. I don't want to do it complete everything. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about that. That happens to me sometimes when I come to your lives in the morning. Sometimes I'm already there. You haven't even started, and I go off, start doing things, and I'm not really hearing everything. Then all of a sudden I come back and go, "What the hell are they talking about?" It's like, and I'm trying to interject myself into the conversation, but it's like I go, "Well, I'm only hearing part of the conversation, so I don't know." So sometimes I don't say anything. Other times I just want to sit there and just listen and read what everybody else is saying in chat. Um, but yeah, pretty much, I got more Dark Side Nursery Rhymes individual things that I do. Um, Trying to use part of the AI video editing to kind of do a little bits to enter into that on my own. Now a couple of ones I did. One of them, because I used copyrighted material, so they gave me a copyright claim. It's not a strike. It doesn't mean anything, but I used it to put it in. It's like, well, it goes with what I'm doing. I'm not monetized on my channel here. I'm not going to monetize it. I'm just going to leave it, but I do have my PayPal link listed here and there. So you guys, if you want to, you can donate it if you feel like it. If you can't, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're here, click the thumbs up. You watch, hey, leave a comment after the show if you don't want to leave one in the chat. By all means, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not worried about the numbers. They change, they come, they go. Some people say, oh, it's because of the YouTube. Actually, it's not YouTube. The place is YouTube, but Google is doing a lot of things because they own it now, and they have changed a lot of things. So the logarithms that we used to know don't work the same. They've changed it a lot, and they're also adding in parts for shorts and this and that. You never know. Yeah, I know. Older ones are getting copyright claim because of the way Google's doing things, right? And depending on what you've done, that creator, or like for music, for instance, the musicians have turned around and put copyright claims on their stuff now because they want to be paid for everything it's being used for. The worst one for that is any song from the artist group known as Kiss, because Gene Simmons has put so much on it and ownership of everything for Kiss that you got to go through him now. You use a song and put it up as a video for anything, even though you might not even show any images of them, just because you're using the music for, what is it, more than 10, 20 seconds now, you'll get a copyright claim, and then they get notified, and if he reviews it, he'll send it as a full strike to go against your channel, and then tell you to shut it and get rid of it. Right? That's just, stupid how all this has gone about. So yeah, I got one for one of the ones coming up, my Dark Side Nurse Rems. I got a claim against it because I used some video footage from an old show in which they're saying, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, who cares? Whatever. I don't care anymore. They can do what they want with the channel. And speaking of which, I have been really, really thinking about it, actually leaving YouTube and going somewhere else, but then people would have to pay for it. I might put some free content, but not a lot. That way, then I could actually have kind of a little bit of an income coming in, is to go to OnlyFans. And it's not just for, the stupid content that a lot of people have used it for. It was made originally to compete with YouTube in the beginning. Just a bunch of people used it differently because, yeah, you have paid memberships, monthly subscriptions, yearly subscriptions. You can make different platforms of subscriptions, just like you kind of can do here once you become monetized, if you want, for memberships, but it's done completely differently, and then you get paid differently. You get, I think you actually get paid the full amount, not part of it like you do here. Once AdSense takes theirs, once whatever amount that goes to YouTube/Google, and whatever amount that goes to, I guess, the companies for their ads when you become monetized that come on before, during, or after your video, they get their money. So, you don't get a lot. In order to make that reasonable to be, a proper full-time job, you got to get lots of views on your videos. It doesn't matter about your subscriptions. It's the amount of views and the length of those watch time of those views. So if you've got a video and say you only get 10,000 views, but out of that 10,000 views, people are only watching 2 minutes, you're not making much money. Right? Now, if those 10,000 views and your video was, say, 30 minutes long, but they only watch 2 minutes, now they all watch for 30 minutes, they watch the full thing for 10,000, then you start making more money. And that's just how it goes. It's odd that way, but it just is what it is. I know enough of it. Know a few people that are in behind the YouTube part filled me in with true information without revealing too much, so they don't get in trouble. So when they tell me certain things, like, oh, okay, and then I reword it to let everybody else know if that's the case. And I love it. Everybody blames YouTube, but meanwhile, it's not YouTube that's doing it anymore. It's all Google. Google came in when they took over, and they laid off a lot of YouTube employees, and they switched it all to AI computer for moderators, for the true moderators, not the blue wrench stuff that we give to people, but true moderators that watch. When the complaints come in, then they go and checks things out. And if you say certain words or certain things pop up, then they nail you, send you an email saying, oh, well, you violated community's terms and services violation, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This has to come down. You can, reject and oppose it and try to, give us reasons why you think it shouldn't be, blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, you never get it in your favor. Very few times do you. They just look at it because of the number of complaints that were put to you about it. I had that. There was a few other things on a different channel, but I still managed to keep the channel running. But then I screwed it up because I clicked on their vacation mode, and it literally, for everything for me, wiped everything clean. It was like all the views I had, all the subscribers, all the watcher, everything went to zero. When I looked at it from another side, it still said I had all my subscribers, showed that I had these views on these videos, but on the studio side, it was all wiped to zero. It was like I had to start all over again. It's like, oh, what the hell? So I killed that channel. Where did I say I had 4K subscribers? I think. I can't remember. It was up there. It was monetized, but I scrapped it all because it was all screwed up. Then one day it would say, oh, you have 200 subscribers. The next thing would go back down to zero. Then another day it said I had minus whatever. It's like, what the hell? I said, forget it. I said, I'm not even going to bother fighting with them, trying to get it organized and get it all fixed. By the time they do, hey, I could already be over 1,000 somewhere else. And I proved it here. I did it. It's easy to get subscribers. It's keeping them as viewers, which is the hard part. The subscriber part is not that really all that hard. If you really work at it hard enough, you can get them. Some people think, oh, it's difficult. And it's just what you do and how you go around it and how people interact with the way you try to get your subscribers. You'll get them. People do sub for sub type thing, but you can't come out directly and say it anymore because now they ding you for it. You get an email saying, oh, you're not allowed to spam like that for advertising. It's like the way they reword it. It's like, what? You consider it spam advertising? No, I'm only trying to get subscribers. But you're not allowed to do that. So it's just a crazy way that this web weaves in this community of social media. So I've been thinking about that, another platform to do things that way, I can grow and maybe do things and don't have to worry about things being taken down Don't have to worry about certain copyright strikes because, heck, I've seen so many different OnlyFans of people, and I'm talking about just on the porn side. I'm talking about on the other side, the legitimate, regular people. They use all sorts of songs for different things, and they don't get dinged for nothing. So, this is something I may be thinking about. Let's see, how long have I been on here for? Oh, just over an hour. Okay. Well, nobody else got anything in suggestions for nursery rhymes for me to check out. You can put them down, put them in comments instead, because chat, I don't always come back and look through the chat to see that. But if you leave it in comments, or if you go to the community tab on the main wall of my channel here, you'd see the question. I haven't added anything new to the community tab. So you can see the question, and you can add in your suggestion of a nursery rhyme that you want to see me do the dark side to. If it's a short one, it's a short one. It all depends on what research information is available. Sometimes I may have to go outside to the libraries and get some stuff, which I've done for a couple of them because I didn't know anything. And I had to do research the old way. Flipping through books. That's fun. And then trying to take the information down so I can keep it and bring it and let you guys know. So that's why sometimes you might hear it sounds like I'm reading something, and I usually am. And that's sometimes because the way I'm reading it, the spelling of a certain word I'll butcher because I might have wrote it wrong. So I'm re-looking at it, or I might have had extra information behind it to how to pronunciate it. And I just don't read it all. And then all of a sudden I see it and say, oh, man, okay, I said that word wrong, or I'm going to butcher it. But it is what it is. And one of them, there was other verses for this nursery rhyme, but they went into German. And it's like I'm not going to say them because most of you won't even know what it is. And then trying to translate it properly for you is, I don't want to lose the meaning in translation. So I'll just go with, the regular English and that. But with that said, I think I'll get off here and maybe start making dinner since it's getting close to 4:30 here. And then you guys will have that. Maybe I might do another nursery rhyme dark side video later tonight. I don't know. Or I may be popping by at some other people's live streams that are on tonight. And I'll probably see Drew tomorrow morning. Because I don't think I have anything in particular to do right away. Other than make my breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning. So with that said, everyone, you take care, and we'll see you again sometime on the dark side of the moon.